We are live. It's the Lynn and Cheryl show. I'm Lynn Serrano.
And I'm Sheryl Isenhour.
And we'll be right back after this. Welcome, Cheryl. How are you?
I'm good, I think.
Good.
For a Monday,
For a Monday. No, it's not a Monday. It's
you
Wednesday.
look at my desk, you would think it was Monday. If it were Monday, I'd be on schedule.
Yeah, that makes sense. I love the topic we picked today. You picked today. We talked about batshit crazy. It is
Welcome to my
Wednesday.
world.
We're
Hopefully
ta-
things will change. I mean, the moon's gone into waxing instead of waning. And the waning moon is when your emotions are really high and nursing homes go stupid. A lot of things happen up till the full moon. So during the waning, um, people are emotional. They get angry quicker. So now we're going back into the waxing of the moon. So maybe the world will level out. Imagine the full moon was on election day.
Can you do me a favor next time? Call me before I call my dad, so maybe he won't treat me the way he did yesterday.
Always call them half. If you only do once a month, call a week or so after the full moon.
Oh, that's good to know. But I usually call him every week. I wonder if there's any help for that.
We'll figure out where the full moon is. Call him early that week and late the next.
I guess so. That yeah. Because if not, it's batshit crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, have you ever been in a nursing home
Not
a full moon?
no.
Take a trip. I
Yeah.
mean, one day when you have nothing better to do, I mean, it's the people are more active. They're angry. Whatever they are slightly, they are highly elevated.
Wow.
And so, if you don't believe in the moon signs, get over it. They're really real. Um, I've been in this, I guess I've been a witch a little too long. So,
Uh, well,
um,
I don't care what they say, but it just seems ironic if that's what you want to, or coincidence if you want to call it. But it
mhm.
has something to do with it. It's got to be because yeah, people get a little wacky. That's for sure.
Well, and I don't know about, I've noticed it in my hiring. I do a lot of that, way too much of that. And I mean, I had a guy come to an interview on Zoom the other day, laying in a bed with a blanket pulled up around his neck. Batshit crazy. Okay.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, did he think his camera was off? Maybe that's
No, somebody's holding his phone up above him, and he's laying there, and you could tell he had no shirt on because it would kind of pull down a little bit, and he'd pull it back. He had two hands going on. He'd pull it up, and I just kept the interview going because I kept thinking, I'm gonna figure this out. Yeah. And anyway, he looked like he might have been a little glazy eyed, so you figure that part out. But I took all I could take, and it was just like, you know, let me give you a little bit of coaching suggestion. Don't have an interview laying in a bed. Okay.
my hair is being wacky today. It's because it knows it's getting cut
Hey,
in 2 days, so it's just being wacky.
do like
So
grandma said, get you some bobby pins.
yeah, something like that. It's batshit crazy right now. That's all I gotta say. I'm dressed for the show today. But yeah, that's why would he show up? I mean, I guess give him I guess he showed up.
He showed up, but
Well, but he definitely didn't show out.
I could not put him in a company like that. And it's because if you're going to come to your interview like that, could you imagine going to work? But his resume was good, which lets me believe he didn't write it. Okay.
He
But
didn't write it.
and that's all I've got to go by when I'm starting, going into an interview. And you would be surprised at the world nowadays, what you get when you've got them on face-to-face Zoom with an interview. It's It's ridiculous if you get them there at all.
So Sheryl, how did you act with this guy laying there with this? How did you like? Did you try not to blink?
I literally sat there and stared at something because my eyes give me away. I was doing everything I could do to keep
This
them
is a
rolling
sheep.
back in my
This is a
head.
sheep.
Believe me, it wasn't easy. I was going to make it through, or at least through part of it, because I kept thinking maybe he would clue in or something. I'm a little bit for benefit of the doubt, but it
Did
just.
he apologize? Did he explain? Maybe did he say I wasn't feeling good? I mean, nothing.
So he's even when I told him not to come to an interview, he saw nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
And it's a recorded interview, right?
Oh yeah, I still have the recording.
I know what I'm going to ask after the show. I can't believe that. That's batshit crazy right there.
One of those things. If it wasn't a privacy issue, I would share it on here because. And I say that because a lot of the times when I tell some of these things that happen on the batshit stuff that comes on the interviews, people are sitting there that think, you're just being typical Sheryl smartass. And I'm good enough at that without an audience. Okay. Yeah. So, no, you just don't have to make stuff up. I remember one time somebody asked Jeff Foxworthy, who I'm talking about,
yep.
the comedian. They asked him where he got all of his jokes and stuff, and his answer was family reunions.
Yeah, there's some things you just can't believe that they're real. And I don't know where or why you come to an interview with the blanket up like this and have somebody holding it up. I mean, and not even apologize.
I couldn't see who was holding what, but I would have loved for somebody to have done a 360 with the phone. I just.
Well, all I can imagine is that I don't know. I don't know what you say about that. I really don't. I can't.
You can say,
but you know what? This is the thing. It's got to be true because I don't see that you could have made that up.
There's just some stuff you can't make up.
Yeah.
I mean, I can BS about a lot of things, but there's just some things you can't make up.
Yeah.
And so and those are the ones that's so unbelievable. I had another one day, came to the interview. My third question is always, this company does drug testing and background checks. And his answer to that was, ma'am, my record's perfect. I don't even have a parking ticket. Okay. You don't usually figure there's a but following that, which there was. He said, but, and he picked up a great old big one. I do like my weed. Okay.
Oh,
I got that one too. But this is what I don't understand. And I don't know if it's the generation. I don't know if it's the upbringing of just certain people, because I've had some wonderful interviews with the same generation. But the thing about it is, where are we missing the boat with these people?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think some people are not getting what, when it says be you, boo, it don't mean be you, boo, at an interview. It don't mean be you when you're looking for a job. It doesn't mean that you don't go out and you learn your manners, how to be. I mean, it just, for some reason, it's a disconnect that we're having.
I mean, it's been a good week this week. A lot of my interviews have been super. I've met a lot of 20 to 30-year-old people that were just immaculate in their interviews. But you get one every now and then that it makes you wonder. And so
I think these are put on here just as practical jokes to you, because I mean, I just don't get it.
Believe me, they aren't jokes. These are actually people, and I go back and look at the resumes. They've been there a while. They've been looking for a while. This is
And that, and you, once you interview them, you see why they've been looking for a while.
That's why I like doing the Zoom interview as as the first tag up.
Mhm.
And I suggest everybody does that because they would not have done that in an office.
Yeah.
Well, let's say I'd hope they wouldn't. They would not have done that in an office, but you would have found it out after you hired them.
Yeah.
And then you've wasted time and money. So if nothing else, the Zoom kind of trickles out the ones that you won't see. So that's
Yeah.
what we use that for.
Well, I guess it's, it helps save their time and energy with half that stuff. But yeah, that's interesting. So as far as batshit crazy, what are some of the other things that you have seen at, full moon times and other times?
You got to remember, I raised little old people for years.
Yeah.
We had people, we have elder people living with us for off and on for 18 years. You could watch it up and down. You could watch it with the moons. Grandmother taught me to watch the moon. She was an avid. She looked at the almanac. I wish I knew. I wish I had listened and learned everything she knew. Okay,
Yeah.
but I learned enough to know what to watch for, and so I'm kind of used to it. But I've noticed if you were watching the world as the moon is waning, things are more difficult, or in your employ or whatever you're doing, or in interviews. Okay, all these stupid interviews happen in the waning of the moon. In the waxing of the moon, which is starting now, things they're getting better continually. And it'll go for a couple weeks, and attitudes will go up. You see it more in elder people because they tend to expose their emotions more and their activities. But you see it in a lot of places. If watch Facebook. Oh, I mean, you watch it because Sheryl ain't going to. So, but
Don't
what?
worry. Facebook is going out the door soon anyways. It's really, it's not what it used to be.
Well, and that's all of them. And the bad thing is, the next one that comes on will be the same way. I mean,
Yep.
we've gone through all of them now, and it's not the company, it's not Facebook, it's the people.
Right.
I mean, I like the ones we have a neighborhood watch thing, whatever you want to call that,
Right.
next door neighbor.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
love it when they start. I know I shouldn't post this, but if if
It's
you
gonna
know
be
you shouldn't post it, stop at that point.
yeah, no, you're right. But again, that's where things go bad shit crazy because it's gonna be something, you know, it's just like when you see a comment, we're going down Facebook and all of a sudden, it's got 250 comments. You're like, I gotta read the comments.
And batshit crazy is not a new term. I
No.
remember that way more years ago, which means it's always been batshit crazy at certain
Yeah.
times. And yes, that's not a word we should be using on live, but I couldn't, bat crap crazy didn't sound too right. So
Or back poop crazy. No.
something like that.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. So
Everybody out there experiences it. They do.
yeah. Well, and the thing is I think half the battle is knowing what it is and then taking it from there and knowing that oh, there's Theodora. Some would say Theodora's crazy.
Join
Yes.
me, Theodora.
Oh, I love you, Theodora. Oh, look how cute she is. She's adorable.
I mean,
Oh boy. But
we
no.
all we all have our things. We do, but you just need to keep your eyes open. Seriously, driving. Get out on the road right before the full moon. It's not pretty, especially if you live in a metropolitan area.
Yeah, Theodora lives in Denver, so she knows. She knows what batshit crazy is when it comes to driving. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
there's just so much going on, Lynn. I mean, the world's crazy right now anyway, without adding in any any of the other obstacles you want to talk about, the moon or the tide, or pick something.
Well, we'll see how batshit crazy Debbie and I are next week when we're going to be live with you in in California, to East Coast to the West Coast. I got to remember to put that on my calendar. She and I should be live from there, so we'll see what happens. Who knows what that might be batshit crazy part 2.
Join us for a rerun.
That's right. So we'll have Debbie Bettendorf with us next week. It should be fun. Either that or she'll be in the background. I'm getting dressed. I'm getting ready.
Or either I am not getting on there.
Yeah, because it'll be 9:00 then over there. So it'll be interesting. So we'll see. But thank you as always. Any final thoughts before we leave? Oh, Theodora said Denver is worse at crazy drivers, and I'm better like crazy.
Just try not to contribute to it, and keep your eyes open, especially when things are going wrong. Don't get wrapped up in someone else's crazy.
Yeah. No, that's good. It's their circus. It's not my circus.
Not my monkeys, not my circus.
That's right. So, but just be aware of when things seem all crazy and you seem okay. You are okay, and everybody else has just gone crazy, and so it's okay. Just know that too shall pass, right?
One day.
One day till there's no more days. Sheryl, I love you.
Love you too, sweetie.
Thank you for being here in the crazy snowy day here in Montana. So
you got it, Chica.
All right. Well, I love you, and we'll see you guys next week when I have Betty. I say that, Debbie Bettendorf with us. Love you guys.
See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me